You never thought this would be your life. A few years ago, you were just a regular FBI recruit, fresh out of Quantico, sitting in a classroom learning how to read crime scenes and write reports. Now you're standing in a dark alley in South Chicago, wearing a fake name like a second skin, and the man next to you just handed you a loaded gun and told you to prove yourself. The FBI doesn't just throw agents into gangs overnight. It takes months, sometimes over a year, before you even make your first contact. Before any of that happens, your supervisors sit you down and ask you one simple question: are you sure? Because once you go in, there's no quick exit. You can't just walk away if things get uncomfortable. People have died doing exactly what you're about to do. You say yes anyway. The preparation is brutal. You spend weeks studying the gang, their history, their hierarchy, their slang, their hand signs, their enemies, their rules. You learn the name of every senior member. You learn who's respected, who's feared, and who's considered weak. You study their territory street by street. You even memorize the music they listen to and the clothes they wear. Then they build your cover identity, a fake name, a fake background, fake social media accounts going back years, a fake criminal record, planted in the right databases so it shows up when someone runs your name. You rehearse your backstory so many times it starts to feel real. Where you grew up, why you left, what you've done, why you're here now. The first contact is always the most dangerous moment. You don't walk up to a gang and introduce yourself. It doesn't work like that. You have to get close to someone on the edges first, a low-level dealer, someone who hangs around the crew without being fully trusted yet. You become their friend. You buy from them. You help them out. You make yourself useful. Weeks pass. You're spending long nights in neighborhoods that feel like a different world. You're eating bad food, sleeping in cheap motels, calling your handler from parking lots at 2 a.m. to give updates in hushed voice. Your real life, your apartment, your friends, your family starts to feel like a dream you had a long time ago. But slowly, it works. The low-level guy starts introducing you around. People begin to recognize your face. You get invited to small gatherings. You're not in yet, not even close, but you're visible, and visibility is how trust begins. Every gang has a way of testing new people. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's not. One night, without any warning, one of the senior members corners you. He's heard about you. He wants to know who you really are. He's calm, but his eyes are not. He asks you questions, fast, out of order, trying to catch you in a lie. Where exactly did you grow up? What street? What school? Who did you know there? Your heart is hammering inside your chest, but your face is still. Your voice is steady. You've rehearsed this 1,000 times. You answer every question without hesitating. You even push back slightly, tell him you don't appreciate being interrogated like a suspect. That confidence, that small moment of attitude, is what saves you. Someone who's lying would have been more polite, more eager to please. He backs off, nods slowly, says nothing more. You walk to your car, sit in the dark, and take the first full breath you've taken in 20 minutes. As weeks turn into months, you start moving up. You're no longer just a face people recognize, you're someone they trust. You run small errands. You act as a lookout. You help count money. Every task they give you, you do without question and without complaint. You're building a reputation as someone reliable, someone calm under pressure, someone who doesn't talk too much. But every single day carries a weight that most people will never understand. You're collecting evidence, but carefully. You can't write anything down. No notes, no recordings unless your handler has specifically authorized it. Everything lives inside your head. Names, dates, locations. And the worst part? You genuinely start to like some of these people. That's the thing nobody tells you before you go in. You spend enough time with anyone, and you start to see them as human. The guy who laughs loudest at the cookouts and always makes sure everyone has food. The older member who talks about his kids constantly and coaches a youth basketball team on weekends. You have to keep reminding yourself why you're really there, what they've done, what you're trying to stop. About 8 months in, something shifts. You start to notice that the crew is planning something bigger than the usual operation. Conversations go quiet when you enter rooms. Coded language you haven't heard before starts appearing. Senior members are making calls at odd hours and driving to locations outside their usual territory. You report this to your handler. They tell you to get closer, Find out what's being planned. So you push, carefully, you volunteer for more, you make yourself more available, and eventually, a senior member pulls you aside and tells you that something big is happening in 3 weeks. He doesn't give you full details, not yet, but he tells you that you'll be involved, that they trust you enough to bring you in. You smile, you tell him you're ready. Then you go to your car and sit there for a long time, because you know that whatever comes next is going to be the most dangerous part of this entire operation, and you can't stop now. People on the outside have no idea what this does to a person's mind. You have 2 lives running at the same time, and you cannot let them bleed into each other. When you call your mother, you can't tell her anything. When old friends ask how work is going, you say you're doing research, which is technically true and completely useless. You start to lose track of which version of yourself is the real one. Undercover agents are trained to watch for something called going native, when an agent starts identifying too strongly with the people they're infiltrating and loses their objective perspective. It happens more often than the FBI publicly admits. Some agents have walked away from operations because they couldn't take it anymore. Some have crossed lines they never intended to cross. Your handler checks in on your mental state regularly. They ask you the same question your supervisors asked at the beginning, "Are you still sure?" And every time, you say yes, but the honest answer is getting more complicated. 3 weeks later, everything accelerates. The plan becomes clear: a major drug shipment is coming through the city, and the gang is acting as the distribution network. It's bigger than anything this crew has handled before, which means people from higher up the chain are going to be present. Your handler is almost vibrating with excitement when you call in with the details. This could unravel an entire network, not just the street-level crew, but the suppliers above them. You're given a date, a location, a role in the operation. You pass all of it to your handler. The FBI starts positioning itself. You have no idea what the arrest plan looks like because they can't tell you. Operational security works both ways. All you know is that you have to show up, play your role, and trust that when everything breaks open, the agents on the outside know exactly where you're standing. The night before, you barely sleep. You lie in the dark going through every scenario. What if someone recognizes something is off? What if there's a last-minute change of location and your handler loses you? What if someone pulls a weapon and there's no time to wait for backup? You've accepted that this is the risk. You accepted it a long time ago. The location is a warehouse on the edge of the city. You arrive with the crew. There are people there you've never seen before, or suppliers, intermediaries, men in expensive clothes standing next to men in cheap ones. The shipment is real and it's massive. Everyone is tense. These situations always carry the possibility of violence, too much money in one place, too many people who don't fully trust each other. You stay calm. You keep your position. You watch the door. And then the doors blow open. Federal agents pour in from every entrance simultaneously, weapons drawn, shouting, lights flooding the space, people scatter in every direction, and in the chaos, you hit the floor with everyone else so you don't get shot by either side. It's over in under 2 minutes. When the dust settles, you reach into your jacket, pull out your real badge, and identify yourself to the agent who's about to cuff you. He nods, helps you up, and says 3 words. Good work, welcome back. You think once the operation ends, you can just go back to your life. You can't, not immediately. You have to testify. You have to sit in a courtroom and face the people you spent months eating with, laughing with, working beside, and lay out everything you recorded in your memory. Every deal, every conversation, every name. You watch their faces when they realize who you really are. Some of them look at you with pure hatred. Some look like they already knew, somewhere deep down. The debrief process takes weeks. Psychologists check on you regularly. It turns out that going from a double life back to a single one isn't as simple as it sounds. Your brain spent months wiring itself around a persona that no longer exists, and untangling that takes time. Eventually, you get there, and when you're ready, your supervisors sit you down and ask you a question you've heard before. Are you ready to do it again? You take a long breath. You think about the sleepless nights, the fear, the weight of carrying 2 identities, the people you had to betray, and everything it cost you. And then you say yes. Because someone has to.